Right now, we're watching crypto markets slowly bouncing back higher or holding onto a support and trying to defend the bullish side of things. If you actually go through this and you look at the price action, yes, the bulls are active. But what is the catch? Where's the money coming from? We went through that idea. Right now, you're watching this. This is a support level which we should pay attention to on the technical side. But then you actually go on the macro side and people actually show you the probability of XRP stars aligning and a pop like this. And you're like, okay, that's a bullish side on the technical viewpoint. Great. Then you actually go look at things like this, where the CBDC era is already coming to us. And then we end up looking at things like this. XRP derivatives volume is going nuts. It's increasing. Now, if you actually look at this, it's like Bitcoin derivative is down, Ether derivative is down, and last 24 hours, the XRP derivatives volume is going up. So something is happening on the background. We all understand the fundamentals. We all understand where this thing is leading to. And that's where once we look at the macro like this, we already know, okay, this direction is what we are looking at. If we actually take this on this aisle and look at the possibility of this timing, I'm like, okay, there is something happening here. April 2024. That's the next time. But I would actually have a little bit different thought process for you guys. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. We went through this and discussed the possibility of the price making this as a support and bouncing off. Right now, we are watching. Yes, it is doing that. We are following them up so that you guys in the group are updated point blank. You know everything. That gives you an advantage to look at the market in a different way than the majority. Because right now, say some of them who I respect the most are coming up and giving you an idea like this. Maybe they are 100% right on this. But then, if you actually take your time and go look at what they're saying, I'm like, okay, this is something I'm watching. Okay, they are saying these kind of institutions are a great buy at this price because they sold here. And I'm like, am I wrong or he right? It doesn't matter. The market which you're watching, this is all the way from 1990s. And it shows you historically, whenever you get rejected from the upside, break through this end, that doesn't end well. If you go into multiple banks, it's the same thing. But what worries me the most is this chart. Guys, zoom in this one. What do you think is happening here? You broke to the downside. You went back up to retest that. You got rejected. And now you're putting in a new local low on a monthly. Oh, that's concerning. Because that's a danger zone. The opportunity will come. But when? After this drops 80%. So if Bank of America is going to see such a drop like this, what would be the actual economical event driving that force? And do you think on the other end, the Canadian banks are going to be a huge opportunity at this price here? Maybe you think that. But let me give you my thought process and show you where the money is actually moving to. Because it has dropped 97% in the history. It has actually dropped multiple times, like 70, 75%. So you can literally say, okay, that's nothing new. The price can actually drop like this. And when it actually does that, it's something bad. Here, when it dropped 85%, that was a recessionary economical situation. Then again, you come here, 90s, 91. Same, you come back here, that's like the tech burst kind of range, and then you get the great financial crisis. All of these times, when this happened, the economy was riding on debt. Or in other words, we had bigger problems just because we were driving on what? Debt. Right now, the US debt, I think, just went up like 400 billion or something in the last couple of weeks or a month. I'm like, that's crazy. And I saw a post where it was like $250 billion a day. Whoa, that's a lot of money being printed. Where do you think all of these are eventually going to go as soon as they realize? At this point, I would say anyone who have a sense of this, looking at the chart saying, okay, we are trending lower, we are putting in local lows which are new and it's trending lower, I would say, okay, they are now thinking about taking the investment, moving on to another aisle as they break through these supports. Where are they going to go? Gold is still dropping. It just broke through this range and it is still trending lower. Your macro support comes somewhere here. Maybe they'll try buying the dips, but right now it may not be the best case. Maybe they'll look at the crypto market because it's slowly trending to the upside. Whether we like it or not, yes, the economy is going to go down, but the best part for us is the fact that the money is coming into the crypto market. I know a lot of people give you a lot of different narratives, but last time we went up, when the crypto market went up like this, stock market went down. I highlighted that with a chart comparison here before. Now think about this. This time, if the stock market is about to drop, and if institutions like Bank of America is showing you this, don't even think about some small banks, because some of them, it doesn't look a lot good. See, I was highlighting the fact here that was like, I think, BMO. And if you then go look at some of the smaller banks in different regions like Canada, you are right now watching them holding on to 20+% of negative amortization loans, which is not a great deal. People are paying money, but it's not going into the principal. The principal is growing and they're not even covering the interest payment. That's a serious trouble. So if the price drops, it's going to be a debt spiral. Now, where are we taking all this equation into? Crypto market does look attractive. Bitcoin is trending higher. If you watch XRP, this is a short-term pattern which we are watching. We want to see this break to the upside for sure. And if it does break, remember, we've actually consolidated inside this range for last 48 days. And the ROI structure is like a 30% run to the upside if you break this to the upside. So plotting that gives you a target somewhere close to 0.7. Now that is not a bad target on a short-term scenario like that, but then you actually slowly zoom on, at least on a weekly or a 3-day chart, depending upon how you look at the market. Right now, on a weekly, you're struggling to break the 21-day moving average. So you need to get a little bit more better perspective in that sense. So you actually go on to the direction where you want to actually look at this. And the argument I would put is, okay, on a 3-day chart, you're literally watching what we have talked before. This as a reversal when we were slow here. And right now, you're watching the price slowly pushing back to the upside. So what we have seen historically in the past is that the price kind of gives you this idea, it slows down through this and then go back up. Now that going back up scenario is working out, which means if you actually get an opportunity here, most likely this is going to be a continuation. See, you may actually see the next candle moving towards this direction. See, somewhat like 0.6, then like 0.7. You will have those movements in the market. But yes, short-term people do go look at the short-term market structure to see what the hell is happening here. And we are like, okay, we are at a short-term resistance level. We've been getting resisted in this region for some time. So if you actually go on a 12-hour or daily, you'll actually agree with that perspective. But let me ask you another question. Yes, we are getting rejected at that range. It is true that it is acting as a support range or a resistance range. But the way I'm looking at this, if that's true, then maybe this is also true. There is a possibility that we are doing something like this. And if that's true, which we'll actually see in a month or two, then your measured move is short-term move here, which is a 15% run up. So the micro pattern, the macro pattern, almost everything you are looking at is pointing you towards a move to the upside, which is positive. I mean, in my opinion, I think that's something big you should actually look into, because patterns can change, but the price structure usually stays the same. And if that is true, you can also look at this kind of structure where it goes like this, and then it gives you a pattern like this. Now, why is this important? Keep that in your mind, because this is going to be a macro structure playing out in a micro movement. What do I mean? I'll actually take you guys right into that. But look at this. Once you break through this cup and handle pattern, you just go nuts. So your first momentum was great. Then you went into this structure and then popped. And when you popped, this is something which I really want you guys to digest. When it popped way bigger than the initial run up. Now, keep this in mind, keep this idea in mind, and we'll actually say that on the other side so you know what to compare with. Then go on a weekly chart. On XRP, what do you actually see here? For me, I'm watching the exact same pattern playing out on a macro structure. You're actually watching the price printing a cup and handle pattern here and breaking higher and starting to get momentum. So if that's true, remember the upside here was crazy. It was 700x. This short-term structure just showed us whenever that happens, what you do is much bigger than what happened before. Like, that's nuts. The price here at the bottom was too low, yes, but if you actually put that perspective in, you'll say, okay, that's somewhat like a 0.3 range, 0.35 range. So if you're about to plot that 700x or something bigger than that, where would we actually go and land? That's a big number. And then we all understand the fact that, okay, we understand the fact that it is too big to be a big number. We are watching all of that happening. And if you actually have the historical data from here, you'll actually get a trend line moving somewhat like this in XRP because the starting was here. If you want to see that, you can come here. You can actually go into the market cap chart in the trading view. You go back in history. You take the monthly chart. You see something like this, which is the trend line. So you are still obeying that trend line. You're still inside this pattern. And this kind of a burst is going to be nuts. And the reason is not only technical. You're literally watching this happening in front of us on the technicals, but on the fundamental side, where is the money coming? That's a big question. Where the hell will this amount of money enter into this ledger? We are watching a ton of that entering. Why? Because these kind of companies have been there and right now they understand, okay, we need to improve cross-border payments. I'm like, are you even in your right sense? These guys have been operating on this network for like 30, 40 years. And now they understand, okay, there is some improvement needed. The improvement is already here and it's been close to a decade. They're doing this and they're getting massive adoption. We talked in the other video about this possibility, right? We actually went through that, showing you the idea. Yeah, we have around 30 central banks working and talking with Ripple to use XRP ledger for central bank digital currency. Yes, the CBDC era is here. In a year or two, you'll see all of them rolling out. Which ledger you will look for that? Yes, you have hundreds of different countries doing this. I'm not saying everyone is coming on the XRP ledger, but you'll actually watch a significant few in that ledger, which gives you the possible movement to the upside. Now, I want to highlight one thing. Last video, the likes were like monumental compared to the views. So thank you for each and every one of you who have done that. And if you are getting value out of this video, again, please do smash that like button for me. I really appreciate that. Now, going back into that same perspective, that's a big number. Now, we really don't know how long it's going to take before we actually enter into such a FOMO region. So when you are riding on this wave, if your target is somewhere around $20, $30, great. Don't go 100% out of the market. Keep something there. Maybe 20%, maybe 10%, depending upon what type of investor you are and what liquidity needs you have in next 2 to 3 years. So if you do keep that and say the price pops like this and it goes nuts like $200, $230, that 10 or 20%, whatever you have kept aside in the market, just grows monumentally, providing you way more liquidity. And you can just put price alerts. And once you take profits out of the market from 2025, when you have a divergence, step out. Because this kind of gives you a better understanding of what to do, when to do. The basic thing, you go into RSI in a monthly chart. It's all cool. It's all great. And then add on this understanding. When the price goes up and the RSI goes down, you get a local top there. So you just had one here. Then the next run up was like this. Still, the price is going up at a time when the RSI is not moving in that proportion. The price went up like nuts, 30x, but the RSI was barely reaching that area and getting rejected. So it kind of shows you the buyers are slowing down, or someone is taking heavy profits and moving out. So you want to actually follow the money. When the big money is moving out, make sure you also do that. So guys, that's it for today. If you received value gain, please do smash that like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.